This has all happened before. Like, history's repeating itself
like
here.
Diana did the same thing.
Harry's
right?
not the first royal to do a memoir. Like, Charles done one in 1994.
You mean the book with Jonathan did?
Yes.
So that wasn't authored by Charles.
But
he cooperated. He did.
He did. He gave 10,000 private letters to that journalist. He gave his journals, he gave his diaries, and he gave up his contact books. He said in that book that his relationship with the Queen was cold, and he said that his relationship with Philip was more like a bully relationship. So he also went against the royal family there.
And this is Harry's argument, isn't it? Harry's argument is that this has all been done
before. He's not the first royal to do this. And Harry stepped down as a senior member of the royal family, so he's allowed to tell his truth. After 38 years of the media spinning his truth, like, he's allowed to tell his own now. Plus, he gave 1.5 million to charity. I don't think Charles
embarrassing the country, though?
No, of course he's not embarrassing.
He's only embarrassing himself.
Who's embarrassing the country is Prince Andrew. Dan, I'm sure you remember, after Charles' book came out, The Sun done a poll, and 2/3 of their readers wanted Charles to be stripped of his titles as well. So this all sounds very familiar.
Take a moment to travel back in time to 1994. King Charles made a monumental decision. Picture this. The year is 1994, a year of significant changes. The internet is just starting to blossom. The world is still awash with the after-effects of the Cold War. And in the heart of London, a royal decision is being made that would set a precedent for decades to come. King Charles, a man of power, wealth, and influence, chose to hand over 10,000 personal letters and the intimate pages of his diaries to a biographer. A move that was more than just a bold step. It was a leap into the unknown, a gesture of transparency that was both unexpected and unprecedented. These letters, these diaries, they were not just pieces of paper, they were fragments of his life, fragments of his soul. Within these pages, the king laid bare the coldness of his relationship with the Queen, a marriage that was more duty than desire, more obligation than affection. But the revelations didn't stop there. He went on to describe Prince Philip, his own father, in terms that were far from flattering. He painted a picture of a man who was a bully, a man who ruled with an iron fist and a cold heart. These revelations shook the monarchy to its core. They were a stark departure from the stoic image of the royal family, a crack in the polished facade that the world was accustomed to. A royal's personal experience was laid bare for all to see, setting a precedent. The king's decision to share his personal experiences was a daring move, one that changed the way the world viewed the monarchy. It was a move that opened the doors to truth, to transparency, to the understanding that even royals, with their crowns and their castles, are human too. Fast forward to today, and the echoes of that decision still reverberate within the palace walls. A royal's personal experience was laid bare for all to see, setting a precedent. Fast forward to the present day, Prince Harry boldly shares his own experiences in his book Spare. It's a brave and audacious move, an act of defiance against the tradition of silent suffering. He lays bare his innermost struggles, some of which have remained hidden until this very moment. In his book, Harry recounts the harrowing experience of walking behind his mother's coffin at the tender age of 12. He paints a vivid picture of the crushing weight of grief, amplified by the heavy burden of royal duty. He was just a boy, forced to grapple with a loss so profound in the glaring public eye. It's a memory that has clearly left deep and lasting scars. He also delves into the strained relationship with his elder brother, William. Harry describes an incident where William physically attacked him, a stark reminder that even within the royal family, sibling rivalry can escalate into something more serious. It's a startling revelation, one that shatters the picture-perfect image of the royal brothers. But perhaps the most shocking revelations are those concerning the palace itself. Harry speaks candidly about how they dismissed his mental health struggles, how his pleas for support fell on deaf ears when his wife, Meghan, was subjected to relentless public scrutiny. He talks about how he felt used as a scapegoat, a smokescreen to protect others within the royal household. It's a raw and unfiltered look into the darker side of royalty. Yet, instead of empathy, Harry's honesty is met with harsh criticism. The palace's reaction is a stark contrast to the response to King Charles's own revelations back in 1994. Suddenly, Harry's decision to share his experiences is seen as a betrayal, a stark departure from the royal norm. Prince Harry's candidness is met with harsh criticism, a striking contrast to the response to King Charles's revelations. It's a clear illustration of the double standard that exists within the royal family, a hypocrisy that continues to this day. But despite the backlash, Harry remains undeterred, refusing to be silenced by the very institution that once tried to muzzle him. One can't help but notice the glaring discrepancy in the reactions to these two royal revelations. It's rather interesting, isn't it? Two princes, two books, two sets of revelations, yet the reactions are as different as night and day. When King Charles granted access to his intimate letters and diaries back in 1994, revealing his strained relationship with the Queen and describing Prince Philip as a bully, it caused a stir, of course. But it was accepted. It was seen as his truth. When Prince Harry in turn shared his own experiences, detailing his struggles and the harsh realities of royal life in his book Spare, he was met with scorn and accusations of betrayal. Why, you might ask? Why is it acceptable for one prince to share his truth, but not the other? The answer is simple, yet complex. The only difference is the scope of reach. Harry's words, unlike Charles's, reached a global audience in real time, thanks to the wonders of technology. And that, my dear listeners, is what truly scares them. The royal circle, long used to controlling narratives and shaping their own image, suddenly found themselves at the mercy of a medium they couldn't control. A medium that allowed Harry's words to reach millions instantly. A medium that refused to be silenced or censored. The reaction to Harry's revelations is not about the content of his words, nor about the validity of his experiences. It's about the fear of losing control. The fear of the world seeing the monarchy in a light they haven't meticulously crafted. The fear of the truth, unvarnished and unfiltered. But in their hasty condemnation of Harry, they have revealed one thing clearly. Technology has evolved, but the hypocrisy remains consistent. It's not about what was said, but who said it and how it was heard. And that, my dear listeners, is a double standard we must not ignore. The past has a way of repeating itself, yet Prince Harry refuses to be silenced. In the grand tapestry of royal history, we see threads of similarity between the actions of Prince Harry and King Charles. Both decided to share their personal experiences with the public, to lift the veil on the inner workings of the royal family. But the reception to these revelations couldn't have been more different. King Charles, back in 1994, was the first to break the royal code of silence when he handed over his personal letters and diaries to a biographer. His words painted a picture of a cold relationship with the Queen and a bullying Prince Philip. Yet, when Prince Harry echoed this sentiment, revealing his own struggles within the palace walls, he was met with cries of betrayal. The world has changed since Charles first shared his story. Technology has bridged the gap between the royals and their subjects, making Harry's revelations instantly accessible to a global audience. This direct line of communication is what truly rattles the royal cage. It's not just about what was said, but who heard it. And in Harry's case, the whole world was listening. Prince Harry's refusal to be silent is not an act of rebellion, but a call for transparency, a demand for the truth to be acknowledged. He's not just speaking for himself, but for anyone who's felt the sting of a cold shoulder, the weight of expectation, or the loneliness of being misunderstood. His decision to speak up has sparked conversations about mental health, about the need for support in times of crisis, and about the cruel and relentless scrutiny that comes with being in the public eye. He's not just a prince, he's a voice for change, a champion for honesty, and a beacon of hope for those who've been silenced for too long. History doesn't lie. They did it first. Harry just refused to be silent,